some tricks. We're gonna do tricks like bonks and reverts and body varials, and that's it. Those three. The tricks are for the tricksters. What's up, guys? I'm Kyle. I'm here in the fun house, just hanging out. Now, I've been riding OneWheels for like 3 years now, and before OneWheels, I spent most of my time doing tricks on skateboards. So naturally, when I got onto a OneWheel, I just wanted to throw all these tricks down, right? I met a bunch of people who threw tricks down also, and I met a bunch of people who wanted to learn all these tricks. So today, I'm gonna teach you guys 3 new beginner OneWheel tricks and how I do them to help you guys get started on your OneWheel freestyle journey. So let's have at it. So I'm gonna teach you guys 3 tricks. I'm gonna teach you guys how to bonk or Bollie, your preference on that one. I'm gonna teach you guys how to body varial, and I'm gonna teach you guys how to revert. So the way a bonk works is as you're rolling along, your tire is going to roll right over the bonk object. For this, we're gonna use this pocket rock from Electric Stoke. They're pretty sick. So the tire is gonna roll right over the bonk. And once the tire hits that bonk, it's gonna send your whole board in the air. Your job is to jump with your board, sending you in the air with your board, and then to land both feet flat onto your board and ride away smooth. So to start off with this, we're gonna preload our jump for the timing, and we're going to ride straight over the bonk and then de-weight over it. De-weighting is a term you're gonna hear a lot in one-wheeling, and it's pretty much jumping without leaving the ground. You're getting all your weight and your momentum moving up so that there's less weight for your board to handle. And it's pretty much just an action like that, where you're pretty much jumping, but your feet aren't leaving the ground. It's sending all your weight upward. That, right when the timing is perfect, right as the tire is hitting that object, that's when you wanna give your de-weight. So right as the timing is perfect, you de-weight. So let's try it out a couple times and see how it goes. So I'm gonna keep my preload, and then, as I was saying earlier, that timing of right as the tire is hitting into this, that's the exact same time that you wanna push your nose into it to really get the tire to squish into here and bounce off of it. And that's what you need. Nose! Preload, and then nose. Pretty much about right here is where I'm gonna start to push my nose down. I'm gonna push my nose down, boom. And you can see that it wants to just push it really hard into that bonk block. So that's the best way that I've learned how to bonk. So really practice that preload and then the timing of your de-weight. The timing is everything on bonks. I see a lot of people when they're trying to learn it, they just don't have the timing right of when they're bouncing off of the bonk object. So really focus on that aspect of when your tire is bonking, and that's when you can really accentuate that nose push into it and get higher bonks. Remember to preload that bonk. Remember to de-weight at the right time, and to get really high bonks, you wanna push your nose into it right as you're de-weighting and jump up with your board. That's bonks. So for my next trick, we have a body varials. What is a body varial, you ask? Well, a body varial is when you jump off of your board and your body does a 180 or more. For this video, we're only gonna do 180. And then you land back on your board and switch position for the 180, and then you ride away smooth. You know what I'm saying? So for the body varial, it's all about jumping flat-footed. So for body varials, jumping flat-footed is super important. You don't want to jump off of your toes because your board will tilt, and then you try and land back on your tilted board, you can have all kinds of problems with that. So you really want to jump flat-footed, and the best way to do that is to push your toes up to the tops of your shoes. It really helps your toes not want to roll when you're jumping off of your feet. So before we get into the actual body varial, we're gonna practice some just flat jumps, trying to jump flat-footed so that your board stays flat when you leave the air. So I'm going to I'm going to make sure that my toes are pressed up on my shoes so that I don't roll off of my toes. And I'm going to preload like we were for the bonk, right? Like you're gonna jump. And this time we're gonna actually jump, right? Woo! So you can see how my board is tilting this way a little bit, right? It wants to tilt to my toes still. So to stop the board from tilting onto my toe side, I want to push up with my toes a little more, and I'm going to stop my jump before I fully extend. So I'm going to stop about right here and lock all my leg muscles to keep my momentum moving up in the air. So remember, keep your toes pushed up onto your shoes. You're gonna get low, and then you're gonna lock right before you fully extend. It's okay that they're small jumps. You wanna get the control down first, and then you can start going bigger and bigger with your jumps. I think it's a little harder to jump without doing the body varial. So now that we've gotten that down, which is a little bit harder, we're gonna throw in the whole 180 for you. So we're gonna start with the preload of twisting our shoulders, right? We're facing our riding position, and now our shoulders are 90 degrees forward. And then we're going to jump, remembering to jump with flat feet. So try and push those toes up and don't fully extend your legs. And then you're going to twist at the hips a full 180 degrees, and then stomp your feet onto your foot pads in the switch position. And your shoulders will still be facing forward. So let's get it. Remember, shoulders forward, jumping, flat-footed. Shoulders are still forward. So the best way to land this trick is to spot your front foot pad. I like to look at my front foot pad when I'm jumping in the air and twisting, and that way I can focus on getting my back foot onto that foot pad. So I'm really going to be looking at my front foot pad and staring at it, not my shoe, but the foot pad itself, so that when I jump into the air, all my focus is on that front foot pad for my back foot to get onto that one. That's it, that's all I'm focusing on. And then it just gets there, you know what I'm saying? I know you got 2 feet, but don't worry about it. Just focus on that front foot pad. Really focus on getting that back foot and twisting it onto that foot pad. You know the space of your board, and your other foot will follow the position that you want it to. Boom. There's a bunch of different ways you can throw it, but the technique is still the same. You know, make sure that your shoulders twist 90 and that you twist your hips the full 180 that you're going. So once you get that going, start trying to do it while you're moving a little bit so that you keep your momentum going, because to get a smooth body varial, you really want to ride out the same direction that you were going. Let me show you a couple of what I mean. One of the more common issues I see when people are trying to learn body varials is that when they jump off of their board tilts. So really remember to jump flat-footed when you're throwing body varials so that your board does not tilt under your feet. That's the most important aspect probably about body varials, so that you stomp them clean every time. The next trick I'm gonna teach you guys is the revert. We're gonna do a backside 180 revert. It's one of the easiest reverts to learn. What a revert is when you and your board are spinning 180 degrees on the tire on the ground. So it's a whole twist of the board. I'll show you right now. So we're gonna start off by twisting our shoulders 90 degrees towards the nose side of our board. We're gonna call this the starting position, where just like the body varial, our shoulders are pointed toward the front of our board 90 degrees, right? From this starting position, you're gonna throw your arms all the way around you 180 degrees until that your shoulders are facing the tail side of your board and that you're looking over the tail of your board. It's important to turn your shoulders and your head in this motion. So once you twist your shoulders all the way to the tail side, you're going to twist your hips to follow your shoulders. They're gonna come all the way around and you're gonna be back in the starting position, but now you're gonna be rolling backwards and in switch. So once you figure out all these movements, it's really important to get them in a fluid motion because you're using your momentum when you throw your arms to your tail slide to then twist your hips to finish off that full 180. So you're gonna throw your arms and really twist at the hips, finish off that 180. So when you're doing the revert, it's important to stay on the inside edge of your tire for the backside revert that we're doing here. There are two edges on your tire. You have your toe side edge and your heel side edge. It all depends on your stance. There's regular and there's goofy. I'm regular, so my left foot is in front. So this is my toe side, and behind me right here is my heel side. As you can see, my toes and my heels. So for this backside revert, it's important to stay on the toe side of your tire. I'm gonna show you guys some where I over exaggerate staying on my toe side, and you can really see that it's spinning right on that point of the edge. If you stay on the heel side edge when you're doing this backside revert, it's going to pull your board like in a U-turn motion, and it's gonna send it back the way that you were moving. So you don't wanna do that. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about when you go on the outside edge. Woo! So as you can see, when you try and turn on that outside edge, it really wants to just complete this U-turn and then send the board back this way. So it's important to stay on that inside edge of your revert so that you can smoothly come out of it, switch. Ooh, that's not a 180. So it's important once you twist your hips around and your sensor pad is coming around to the back of you to make sure that you have your shoulders sitting over your sensor pad. This helps keep most of the weight on the sensor pad so that your tail doesn't shoot to the ground when you do the revert. To top everything off from the beginning, you're gonna put your shoulders over the nose 90 degrees. You're gonna swing your arms all the way to the tail. You're gonna twist your hips to follow, making sure that you stay on the toe side of your board, the inside edge of it. And then as your hips are coming around, you're gonna make sure that you keep all of your weight over the nose of your board so that your board stays level, and then you can ride away smooth. Phew! Yo guys, make sure you guys like this video. Comment down below what tricks you guys want to see, or if you just want to holla out your mama down there, send it. And make sure you subscribe to check out all these videos that we're going to be doing. We're going to be putting out some rad stuff here, so check it out, man.